Do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button, guys, if you're new to the channel, especially if you enjoyed this video. So, Andy Ruiz Jr. has actually came out and he said that he wants to be as big as Saul Canelo Alvarez, or even bigger than him. Now, he definitely has the opportunity to do it. I mean, first of all, he's basically around the same age as Saul Canelo Alvarez, and of course, he's Mexican. Now, what he has to do, in my opinion, though, is be fighting in the U.S. and be fighting. You know what he should do? He should fight on the undercards of Saul Canelo Alvarez. What I think he should do is follow the route that Saul Canelo Alvarez does. You know what Saul Canelo Alvarez does? He tends to fight in Mexican holiday months. Like, he fights during the month of May. Why? Because during the month of May, it's Cinco de Mayo, right? A big Mexican holiday, right? Or festival, whatever it is. And he also fights in the month of September. And I believe in September, there's also some type of holiday for Mexican people. So he tends to fight during those 2 months, May and September. And then occasionally he'll fight in like December, right? But he tends to do that because he knows that's where, that's where the Mexican fan base, they're going to be celebrating and shit, right? Because there's a holiday for the Mexicans. So I think what he should do is fight again in September and just keep doing that, fighting in May, September, and fight against legit competition. Not bums, not cherry pick bums. Fight against legit competition. I think what he should do is definitely get a rematch with Anthony Joshua. Okay, I think what he wanted to do is fight in Mexico, defend his titles in Mexico. That would be a beautiful look, and that would help him out tremendously. I think if he actually did that and actually, if they actually convinced Eddie Hearn to have the rematch happen in the freaking Mexico, that would be the best thing he could do. And imagine he goes in there and destroys Anthony Joshua again in Mexico. Then after that, who knows? Maybe fight again in Mexico. Defend your belts again in Mexico. Definitely fight in the West Coast. Definitely fight in the West Coast, not in the East Coast. Because in the West Coast, there's a lot of Mexican people over there. A lot of Mexican American people. In LA, people, places over there. Fighting the MGM Grand. Fighting, I don't know, all those other venues over there in Los Angeles or in Las Vegas. But stay fighting over there. Because that right there, if you notice, when it comes to like guys like Oscar De La Hoya, he always has his fighters who tend to be Latino fighters. He always has his fighters fighting in the West Coast, Los Angeles, the Staples Center, basically over there in the West Coast. Why? Because he understands that over there's a lot of Latinos. Right, there's a lot of Spanish people, especially a lot of Mexican people. Remember, Los Angeles is literally in Texas, so it's literally right next to fucking Mexico. So there's a lot of Mexican American people over there. So have him fighting over there. He should be fighting not in New York, over there, because there's more Latinos. Trust me, especially there's more Mexicans, especially over there in the West Coast than there is over here in the East Coast. Over here, there's more Puerto Ricans. We got more Puerto Ricans over here in the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? And like Italians, that's what we got over here in the East Coast. Italians and Puerto Ricans. But when it comes to the West Coast, there's a lot of fucking Mexican people over there. Okay, so I think what he needs to do is be fighting over there. Get that fan group and fan base on his side. Fight in the same place where Errol Spence Jr. fought Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence Jr. was fighting in his hometown when he fought against Mikey Garcia, but Mikey Garcia had more fans there. If you noticed that, there was more people cheering for Mikey Garcia than Errol Spence Jr. And you would think more people would be cheering for Errol Spence Jr. because he was fighting in his hometown. But there's a lot of Mexican people there, so he should fight there. He'll have a lot of Mexican people on his side. Another thing that he should do is talk in Spanish. Talk in Spanish. I noticed that, I think, because then when it comes to like Mexican people, if you don't talk Spanish or on interviews and stuff, they look at you like a fake. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you see boxers saying that, oh, this guy's not a real Mexican. This guy's not a real Mexican. Like, I remember, I think I saw Eric Morales. I think he called Mikey Garcia a fake Mexican. And basically what they mean is this guy's not a real Mexican because he was born in America. He wasn't born in Mexico. He wasn't born, in Guadalajara, Mexico, or in Tijuana, Mexico, the way, Eric Morales was born. So that's why they say shit like, he's not a real Mexican. So I think what he needs to do, Andy Ruiz Jr., to get the Mexican boxing fans on his side and to be rooting hard for him is to talk in Spanish when you do interviews. Go to a lot of those telenovelas or whatever. Not telenovelas. You know, those boxing platforms that they have where they interview you in Spanish. Talk in Spanish. Have people, you know, not just talking English, because obviously he mainly talks in English, but talk in Spanish. Do that. I'm telling you, you're gonna win more fans over like that. And always wear the Mexican fucking headband when he goes out in public. Where I like the fact that he met the president of the United States. I mean, excuse me. I like the fact that he met the president of Mexico. That's a good look. Keep doing that. Show up to these events where you meet, you know, the Mexican president, the Mexican governor, the Mexican mayor, whatever. Do that. Shit, even take a picture with the Mexican cartel. I don't care. Do that. And by the way, why is he only showing one belt? I noticed when he was taking a picture with like the Mexican president, he just had one belt. This guy is a unified champion. He should have all 4 belts. Why is he only carrying one belt? I don't understand that. He should have more. He should have more belts. But he could definitely be the Mexican heavyweight Saul Canelo Alvarez, especially when it comes to money, especially if he beats Anthony Joshua. Who knows? He might be a pay-per-view star. Again, one thing I've always liked about Mexican boxing fans is they're hardcore. Have you ever seen Mexican fighters fight? Look at and look at the arena. Look at the crowd. They go crazy. They support. They're die hard. Mexican boxing fans are some of the best boxing fans in the world. So I do think he could do it, but he has to be fighting legit dudes. He has to be doing what I'm saying. Fighting Mexican holiday months, speaking Spanish, fight in Mexico, do stuff like that, and fight in LA, fight in the West Coast. Anyway, guys, I have to say, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, and if you watched the video from start to finish, as always, I appreciate it. And that's it. I'm out. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video, man. Subscribe. Bye bye. Peace.